Hey, welcome back to my channel. This is Techno Traveler, and today I want to address something that isn't often talked about, which is that Ikigai, for some people, doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Well, a lot of people don't have context, they don't have perspective. So, if we take a look at the four pillars of Ikigai, they are the purpose of Ikigai, if you haven't heard of it, is to combine these elements, essentially creating like a Venn diagram where you have four clusters of things in your life that in the middle are the perfect storm of, let's see, well, actually, I have them here. What you love, your passion, what you're good at, your profession, what the world needs, mission, and what you can be paid for, what they call vocation. So while in theory, this is a great way to find something that that you that you like, that you already know, and that inherently is the gripe that I have with this broad application of these principles, that the assumption is made that the person applying these principles actually knows themselves enough, that they have enough experience. Because what you love, you have a passion for. A lot of people don't know what they love because they haven't tried enough things. They have an idea. They think they might enjoy some part of being an artist. They think potentially they have some sort of inclination or inkling that they might enjoy making music or being a musician, but a lot of people's perspective is skewed. Becoming an artist of any type, people don't understand that a lot of what you're doing is going to be sales and marketing. Sales in the sense of everything from just having a simple conversation with others, whether that's a tour manager or um, a venue, um, somebody that might book you for a private event, all the way to marketing side, constantly coming up with new content, promoting yourself. So it's more business than it's more business activity than people initially understand. What you're good at, going on to pillar two, what you're good at, not everything that you're good at you actually like. And yes, at this point, you might be thinking, if you know this Ikigai um, format structure, you might be saying, yeah, but the whole point is to list everything out and then remove the things that you don't like and only focus on that which you do like and try to find something out of that. People don't know what they're good at. A lot of people don't know what they're good at. I'll give you an example. I'm do visuals, right? So I didn't start that because I thought I would be good at it. I started it because I thought it would be fun. I had no idea if I was going to be good at it. For the majority of my life, I spent saying to myself and others that I am not. I'm trying to use past tense here, so my subconscious brain doesn't pick up these things. So I spent the majority of my life saying that I was not mm, good at color and all of these things and in the graphics aspects of design. And maybe that's true, but in a traditional sense, maybe that's true, but I enjoy it. I enjoy creating visuals. Um, so I don't care if I am in the traditional sense am good at this. When I was doing music, I didn't care if I was perceived as being good in the classical sense. I was making and playing electronic music because I wanted to. What the world needs, I don't think that the world needs another visual artist. I don't even think the world needs another musical artist. I don't think the world needs anything. The only thing I think people need really is someone to relate to, someone who's doing or attempting what they want to attempt. Whether or not there's success, people generally are afraid to go for things, to try things. That's why I started this channel, because I now that I have clarity on what I want to do, I don't even really question what people will think of me, what people will think of my art. I like it. There's one thing, if there's one thing that I learned about, or that I learned from DJing and playing music, even when I was playing my trumpet when I was younger, playing jazz, a lot of people didn't like my improvisations. A lot of people thought it was too minimalistic because I wouldn't play too many notes. And it's just it's just what I wanted to do. I thought this is this is who I am. I'm not going to do it any other way. I'm just trying. That's really all I'm doing. I'm just trying, doing my best. And if I like it, well, then there's probably somebody else that's going to like it. And I guarantee you there's somebody that's not going to like what you do, because there are things that you do, or that there are things that others do that you don't like. So it's just natural. It's not a big deal. And lastly, what you can be paid for. A lot of people don't believe that what they want to do is something that they can be paid for, either because of, I want to say because of a mental block, but absolutely because of a mental block. A lot of times just people don't know any better. I have my cat here in the background trying to talk to me. It's almost feeding time. A lot of people don't know what they can get paid for. They don't realize that there's a market for everything. The purpose, the not purpose, the goal, your goal as an individual should not be to find these, like, where can I get paid? The goal isn't where are the most obvious places that I can get paid for this skill. Obvious, doing what's obvious, all kinds of interruptions here. Doing what's obvious is not what's going to get you the best results. What's obvious, everyone else is going to be doing. So inherently, it's going to drop the value. So with Ikigai, what you want to focus on is understanding what you love. So if you have an idea, maybe it might be good for you to try something, such and such thing out. Well, then just try it. You don't have to commit. A lot of people make this mistake that they feel like they have to, once they do something, if they're going to, for example, I think it comes from like childhood trauma, that a lot of people feel like if they pick something up, they have to keep going with it. They feel all this pressure to just now go with it. Like if they pick an instrument, if they buy an instrument, I want to try the drums. They think that because they spent $300, now they have to spend the next 3 years of their life totally focused on that. It's just wrong. You can do whatever you want. Not only as an adult can you do whatever you want, but you can do whatever you want whenever you want. It's your life. You can change your mind. A lot of people don't have this built into themselves, into their way of thinking, that they think they can just change their mind. You can change your mind. You can do whatever you want. That's the one thing that luckily, I don't really have that ingrained in me. Although I have felt pressures from, I do constantly feel pressure from the social expectations and just actual people in my environment to keep things, to stay on the track with whatever I'm doing. People don't like when others change their mind, but it's your life. You can do whatever you want. So writing these things down, the what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, what you can be paid for. I gave a friend a piece of advice, which is, don't when you don't know what you love, when you don't know what you're good at because you haven't tried enough things, when you don't know what the world needs because you don't, I think the way it's said also, what the world needs, right? There's different versions of how it's explained. How are you supposed to know? I don't think that this is supposed to be, I think the point of life is an individualistic pursuit. It shouldn't be to right off the bat be so concerned with what does the world need. That's too much pressure. What do you want? What do you what do you want? What do you want to do? Because life isn't obvious. The life path isn't obvious. Think about where you are right now. Think about where you were 5 years ago. Would you have guessed that your life, your profession, your physical environment, your surroundings, your body, do you think these things were these things obvious to you? Did you know exactly where you were going to end up, that you were going to end up here? No, nobody can. You can maybe, if you have that consistent of a life, I don't know, that's a little boring to me, that you would be able to project 5 years out into the future perfectly, but to each their own. Um, it's just not possible. As you discover, you learn about yourself. As you discover about the world, you learn about yourself, what you want to do, what you like doing. And that's where you need to start. That's where you need to start. So try things for yourself. That's the only way to truly know if you like something or not. And I'll be creating more content around this topic because I think it's very important for people just to try. Just try something on your off time. I would bet that there's a free way for you to try the thing that you want to try. I would bet, whether even if it's, renting an instrument or getting an internship at a company that you think you might want to work at, paid internship, hopefully. There's lots of opportunities. The issue is this idea that we have to commit to something just because we picked it up. It's not true. It comes from, I'm pretty convinced it comes from childhood trauma. So, more on the next one. We'll keep talking about these topics. And of course, I'll be releasing more visuals videos. If you like this type of content mixed in with my visuals, if you'd like to have a better understanding of maybe marketing for your artistic business or some other aspects as well, um, I really want to dig into my creative process and just share those things, because I think it's important for others like yourself to see that not every process is the same. Not every process is linear, even. Sometimes things don't even make sense. A lot of people, a lot of artists that just put themselves out there, they're doing things intuitively. And those, that which is done intuitively is difficult to define because the person doing them intuitively doesn't have a system for them, doesn't have a way of explaining them. They just do it. I, on the other hand, tend to live in that realm of processes and analyzing my own thoughts, whether it's through meditation or my business experience. I think it's a combination of both. Some of it comes naturally, and not a lot of it is learned to think this way. But I think it's important to share. So I hope I've given you some inspiration, some insight into the fact that it's okay doing what you want and being who you want to be. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.